Doing great, having a fantastic weekend. So happy to be here as always. My name is Angela Petrilli, here with my friends at Fishman for a brand new episode of the Riff Rundown. This is going to be a really fun one today. Figured I'd bring my Martin SC13E back for this song. So here's what I want you to do. Acoustic guitar in standard tuning today. All right. We're going to be learning The Wait by the band. One of my favorite songs. Another great sing-along too. Very friendly beginner chords here. I'm going to teach you guys how to play this in two different ways. The original version with the open chords and then a capoed version too. So have a capo nearby as we learn this one today. And we are live today, folks. And I'm just super excited to teach this one today. This will be really fun. So again, acoustic guitar in standard tuning today. Have a capo nearby if you want to learn an alternate version of this tune. And you know I like to ask a question before we get started. So folks, let me know where you are tuning in from. Alex V, I see you. You're always number one. Yay, thanks for being here. So let me know where you're tuning in from, all right? And your favorite concert you've ever been to. Favorite concert you've ever been to. So where you're tuning in from, favorite concert you've ever been to. Those are the questions for today. Have a capo nearby. And have your acoustic guitar in standard tuning. This is going to be really fun, so here we go. Here is The Wait by the band. We're going to be learning this one today. A very fun song, beginner friendly. For the first half of this lesson, we're going to play it as it was recorded with the open chords, all right? And then for the second half, we're going to go ahead and put a capo on. So maybe, you know, those of you who are beginners, maybe that was a little too, like maybe just a little bit ahead of where you are, no problem. I'm going to give you a capoed version as well to look at. So this will be really fun. So before we get started, I want to read some of your comments here. Thanks everyone for putting stuff in the comments. I love it. Question of the day is your favorite concert you've ever been to. So let's see. Let's go around the world and see everyone's favorite concerts, and then we're going to go ahead and get started on this lesson. So we got Joey from Myrtle Beach, Fleetwood Mac in 1978. Bet that was awesome. I know a very iconic album came out the year before, so that was very cool. Bet that was a great show. Steven from Minneapolis says, my favorite concert I ever went to was Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and yes. Yeah. Bet that was great too. Ooh, we got Harold. Favorite concert, Jim Croce warm-up for Loggins and Messina at Carnegie Hall. Wow, 1973. Bet that was great. We got Black Sabbath, Preston. Very cool. We got Tony here from California. It's his first time on the live stream. Thank you so much for being here, Tony. Welcome to the party. And everyone, welcome Tony. Welcome Tony here. This is great. All right, we got Allman Brothers Band, the Fillmore East. Wow, that is very cool. All right, let's see. Let's do a couple more here. We got David Bowie. That was Casey's favorite live concert. All right, we got someone here. Bruce Springsteen, the Born in the USA tour in Munich. Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, we got Kim here. Saw Pete Townsend at the Troubadour. But that was awesome, Kim. Very cool. Very cool. Well, thanks everybody. Keep those comments coming. Would love to see it. So let's go ahead and get started here at the intro. I'm gonna say that this is the most difficult part of the song. Once we get through the intro, it's going to be smooth sailing. All right, so lots of fun chords here. And again, have that capo nearby for the second half of the lesson. We're going to be going over the capo version of this song. Okay, so for the intro, I'm going to play it just a little bit slower than I did at the very top. All right, so that is going to sound like this. Those chords. I'm going to do that again. All right, and that leads into that A chord. So what we're going to do here, we're going to use our fingers to play, obviously, right? Okay. First three fingers here, have them ready. So for the first part, and again, I'm going to break this down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. Going to get our first finger here, placing it across the 9th fret of the D string and the G string. So that's what the note should sound like. Okay, so just like that. And we're going to hold those down. We're going to pinch. Notice how you cannot see my thumb, okay? We don't want it up here. We want it pinching through from the back of the neck, okay, at that 9th fret of the D and G string, okay? Now what we're going to do here is we're going to get our third finger. That third finger is going to hammer on at the 11th fret of that D string. Now what we're going to do is we're going to strike both the D string and the G string together. Hear that hammer on? I'm going to do that again. So that's what we're looking for, all right? So we've got... That's our first part of the riff, okay? That intro riff for the weight. So, just like that. Once we finish that, we're going to strike this again. So where the third finger is on the 11th fret of that D string, which happens to be a C sharp, and where your first finger is on the 9th fret of the G string, which is an E, we're going to strike them together. So, like that, okay? So let's take our time here. Again, really good technique. Again, having that thumb in the back of the neck is really going to help you with getting a good firm grip on this part of the tune, okay? So here we go. Just like that, okay? Pretty straightforward. That's part 1. Now let's go ahead and get to part 2. Part 2 sounds like this. Okay, a little bit brighter, right? So here's what we're going to do here. First finger, now what we're going to do, we're going to keep it on that D string and G string at the 9th fret. But this time, we're going to hammer on with our third finger on the 11th fret of the G string. That's going to be an F sharp. So that hammer on is going to sound like this, again, striking both of those strings. Just like that. Okay, so let's do that a couple times. Get comfortable here. All right, so here we go. And again, just a nice firm downstroke with that strumming hand. Okay, that's what we're looking for. After we do that hammer on, we're going to place that second finger on the 10th fret of the B string. That is our A note. When we put these two pieces together, it's going to sound like this. And guess what? That hammer-on is still ringing. It's great. Okay, it's a good thing. So don't worry that we only have to play that A note. Not true. If things are ringing through, totally no problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that again. Let's take our time here. Slow and steady wins the race here, folks. Just like that. Okay. Let's do that a few more times here. We'll combine it with part 1. Just like that. And last time. Now, part 1 into part 2. Let's take our time. It's going to sound like this. again. And when it's played a little bit faster for context. Okay. So a cool little riff there. Now, what we're going to do next, this is now part 3 of the intro, is going to sound like this. Pretty straightforward. Again, that first finger on the 9th fret of the D string and G string, you can do this, okay? Remember to pinch through with that thumb at the back of the neck, okay? Just like that. Keep that finger nice and straight. We don't want to crook it or anything, nice and straight. And then what we're going to do here, hammer on with that 3rd finger, 11th fret of the G string. Release that 3rd finger, playing the 9th fret of the D and G string together, okay? So part 3, just like that. Let's do that again. Okay, just like that. So now let's take our time. Part 1, part 2, and part 3. Okay, nice and slowly, and then we'll build up speed. All right, so here we go. And again. And now a little bit faster. So those are the first 3 parts of this intro for the weight. Now, the next bit, what we're going to do here is we're going to do a bit of sliding, all right? So I want you to get that first finger. I want you to bring it back to the 7th fret of the D string and the G string. Okay, and again, we're going to pinch through, okay? That thumb, back of the neck, okay? Now, what we're going to do here, I heard it in the recording. You hear that faint A note in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to place our pinky on the 10th fret of that B string. That's our A note. So that should sound like this. Okay, for some of us, it's a bit of a stretch, but again, it's good for us. Having that thumb in the back of the neck, crucial. I cannot say that enough with this intro, okay? So that's what's going to happen there, all right? And what we're going to do here, we're going to hammer on with our 3rd finger, okay, on the 9th fret of the D string. And we're going to do it 2 times, okay? So just like that. See how we're faintly hearing that high A note here on the B string? Just like that. Let's do that twice. And for the last part of this riff, we're just going to play it 7th fret of the D string, G string, and then 10th fret of the B string. So just like that. Okay, let's do that nice and slowly here. And again. Nice and slow again. Like that. All right, so let's go through parts 1 through 4 here. We're gonna go slowly. Let's do this. Okay, so just like that. Oh, I skipped a part. Let me do this first. Okay, the part I just taught you, part 5. We're live, folks. This happens sometimes. So what I'm gonna do here, part 4, the actual part 4, sounds like this. It's part 1 again, okay? So we've got part 1, part 2, part 3, part 1 again, and then this is part 5. okay? So we've learned 5 parts, okay? Let's do that again. Let's do that again. We're live, folks. We're live. We have fun here. Again, if you're enjoying these lessons, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Click that like button. It helps the cause. It really does. It really does. And again, let me see. If you're enjoying these lessons, too, be sure to check out The Voices, my new EP, everywhere you stream music and on Bandcamp and all that good stuff. So I'd appreciate it. So let's go ahead and do that intro again, shall we? All 5 parts of it. So here we go. And again. And here we go again. And a little bit faster for context. Here we go. All right. So for the last part here, we're going to have this. Nice, cool riff. I love it. So what we're going to do here, first finger, okay, placing that on the 7th fret of the A string, 7th fret of the D string. What are those notes there? We have E, we have A. And we're going to play that twice. And then from there, on the 3rd time, we're going to do hammer-on. So what do I mean by that? Let me get my 3rd finger here. 9th fret of the A string, that's an F sharp. Just like that. From there, we go back to this chord here. 7th fret of the A string, D string, and that G string. What are those notes? E, we have A, and then we have D. Okay, so just like that. So what we're going to do here is this. Third finger now reaches up to the C sharp 9th fret of the E string. And we're just going to slide that back. So I like to slide it and start releasing. So I'm sliding from the 9th fret, and I start to release around the 6th fret of that E string, okay? And then I have the open A string there. All right, so let's go ahead and do that again. Let's go ahead and do this from the top, nice and slowly, all 1, 2, 3, 6 parts of this intro. All right, so here we go. And again. Let's do it slowly a few more times here. And again, getting that pinky in position, 10th fret, okay, first finger across that 7th fret. Keeping that thumb in the back of the neck, creating a good foundation. Final riff. Without the commentary, here we go. And a little faster. And one more time, a little bit faster. just like that. So that's the intro there. And again, just like all of the stuff here, I want you to take your time with this. Taking it slow. We can't play anything fast and we can't play slow. You know, it's one of my big mottos here on the riff rundown. So really take your time. Focus on good technique, making sure the guitar sounds nice and clear. I did see some comments and people are like, it's kind of buzzing a little bit. I'm getting a little bit of fret buzz. Having the guitar checked out for good intonation, getting a good setup on your acoustic guitar always helps with that kind of stuff. So if there's someone that you trust in your area that can work on your guitar and get it set up to where it's sounding great, no fret buzz, and is comfortable to play, be sure to do that. I know I do that all the time with my guitars. At least once a year I go and have them taken in and making sure they're playing and sounding good. So something to keep in mind in keeping your guitars nice and healthy and continue on in their longevity. So yeah, it's good stuff. So that is the intro there. From there, that is the hardest part of the tune. We have gone through it. So great job. Now what we're going to do here, so after we play that intro, we're going to have a regular old open A chord here. All right. I like to play it this way with my second, third, and fourth fingers on the second frets of the D string, G string, and B string respectively. So that's an E note, A note, C sharp, okay? And then when I move over to the A sus4, which is the next chord, all I do is move my pinky over a little bit. Now notice I'm not all the way at the third fret, as close as I can be, even if I'm just, see, I'm at about the middle of that third fret on that B string. Still getting the sound I want. Now, that's one way to play it. Or what you could do is use the first finger to play that A chord. Now keep in mind when we play it this way, you don't want to play the high E string because then you have an A6. Don't want that chord, okay? It's a great chord. I love an A6 chord. We don't want it here, okay? So when you're strumming, be mindful to end your strum at the B string, okay? So totally awesome option here. And what you're going to do there is your third finger is going to play that D note, which is the 4 in the sus4 of A. So just like that, just like that. Someone was asking, hey, where's the Black Smoke Martin? It's being repaired right now. So that's why I sent it to my luthier, making sure everything plays good. So that's why it's not here today. That's why it's important to get your guitars set up. Makes them play better. All right, so we can choose to play the A in those two different ways. So with the riff, here's the context of then going to that chord leading into the verse, okay? So here we go from the very, very top. It's a quick little transition there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to slow down the strumming. It's going to sound like this. I'm someone who likes to strum from the elbow. If you're a little bit more comfortable with the wrist, no problem. For me, I like to strum from the elbow. So here we go. Like that. Now, from the very last bit of the intro, sliding into the A. Let's try that. Okay, I'll do the alternate version playing the A chord with the first finger only. Here we go. Okay, so up to you. Both are fantastic, fantastic options. Now let's go ahead and get into that verse. So the verse here, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 chords if we're being technical about it. We're going to have an A chord. We're going to have a C sharp minor with a G sharp in the bass, also known as a slash G sharp. Okay, C sharp minor slash G sharp. Okay, we're gonna have a D chord, and then we're gonna have and A sus4. So those are the 4 chords we're going to have in the verse. So I'm going to highlight the verse here. The verse sounds like this, to speed. This verse is repeated 4 times, okay? So we've got our A chord here. We've talked about it. Okay, we're building an A major chord. What are those notes? A, C sharp, and E, the 1, 3, 5 formula that builds an A major chord. Okay. From here, we're going to go to a C sharp minor / G sharp. I know that sounds like a lot, and that it sounds like a very hard chord that looks something like this. It's not. It's not too bad, okay? So what we're going to do here, first finger, I want you to lay it across all 6 strings at the 4th fret, okay? We're also including, okay, this note all the way up top on that E string, okay? That's our G sharp, the 4th fret of that E string, okay? So that's going to be our bass note here in this chord. Now what we're going to do, okay, so we've got that there. We want our finger nice and straight, okay? We want it, okay, right there, parallel to the fret, okay? We don't want this, we don't want this, we want a nice parallel, okay? And get as close to that fret as you can without touching it. Now what we're going to do here, you're going to get your 2nd finger, placing that on the E note, which is the 5th fret of the B string, okay? You're going to get your 2nd finger, or your 3rd finger rather, placing that on the 6th fret of the D string. That's our other G sharp. Now we're going to get our 4th finger here, placing that now on the 6th fret of the G string, which is another C sharp. So we're going to play all 6 strings here. Now, notice how you cannot see my thumb, because we want that thumb in the back of the neck, right? We want it pushing through here. If the thumb is all the way up here, see how my hand begins to shrivel. We want a nice, strong, elongated fingers here. Okay, I want them nice and strong. So again, at that C sharp minor, G sharp and the bass, strum everything, okay? So in context, it sounds like this going from that A chord at the top of the verse. Okay? It's a bit of a move, but worth it. And again, this is the non-capoed version, the studio version, how they did it here. From there, we're going to go to a D chord, okay? Friendly D chord that we all know, okay? 1st finger, placing that on the 2nd fret of the G string, that's our A note. 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the E string, that's F sharp. And our 3rd finger, 3rd fret of the B string, that's our D note. Strum from the D string. Just like that, done, okay? And that's our D chord there. So in context, I'm going to play it a little bit slower from the A chord. From there, let's go back to an A. Let's do that again. Now, we're going to add in an A sus4 in there too. Get that 4th finger. Makes an appearance at the 3rd fret of the B string. Bring it right back to playing A chord. Just like that. Okay? So here we go. Nice and slowly. We're going to run through this a couple times slowly. Here we go. Again. Now notice sometimes I'm getting some of those open strings in between switching from chord to chord. Totally cool. So if I play it fast, listen for it. This is okay. It gives it texture. Okay, it gives it movement. Check it out. Especially, we can really hear it between the A and that C sharp minor over G sharp. So don't be afraid of some of those open strings when you're switching from chord to chord. Very, very cool. This is a great question. Do we need to fret that G sharp with the minor chord? I heard it on the recording. I heard that there. If you don't want to do it, I mean, it's fine. You can assume that perhaps the bass player, if you're playing with a bass player, is going to hit that note. The way that I look at it, it's like, well, my finger's like nearly there. So if I just move it up like a quarter of an inch, I've got the note. So I think it adds a lot. I think adding that in there is great. But if you really don't want to, I mean, you could. But I mean, you're nearly there. So up to you. Up to you. Great question. So let's go ahead and look at the chorus here. So the chorus sounds like this. Got that there in the chorus. Now, when I was watching them play it live, I noticed there was an E chord. However, we hear that in the bass. So that bass player is playing that G sharp or the third over that E chord. If you're playing this, you could do that G sharp in the bass of the E chord if you wanted, but I think the E chord sounds great too, all right? So from there we go from an A, so our chorus is A to E major to D major, okay? And that E major, how we play that's a chord we haven't gone over yet. You're gonna get your first finger on the first fret of the G string, that's our G sharp. Second finger, second fret of the A string, that's our B note, and then your third finger on the second fret of the D string, which is E. So in order to build an E major chord, what are the notes we need? E, G sharp, B, 1, 3, 5. That's how we make an E chord. Okay, and you're gonna strum every single string here. It should sound like this. Just like that, okay? So we've got A to E to D. Let's do that progression here a little bit slower. We'll build the speed. Here we go. Again, we're playing this slowly. Okay, and now a little bit faster. Last time. So after we do that, so that part, the A, E, D are going to be repeated twice. We're going to do this cute little move. I love these two chords together. So that's a D sus2 to a D major. So guess what? If you want to play a D sus2, what I'd like you to do is just play the regular D chord. Now, what I want you to do here is lift that middle finger up. We are exposing the open E string here. So when we play this chord, that's our D sus2. The 2 is that E. Okay? So that's what we want to do there. Okay? And we're going to do that twice. D sus2, bring back that middle finger to play the D chord. So in context, sounds like this with the chords in the chorus. Here it comes. And that's the part that, and you put the load right on me. Right there is where that happens. When that D chord, we let it ring. Okay, so let's do that again, a little bit faster here. Here we go. Just like that. All right, just like that. So again, this is a live Q&A, folks, too. So if you guys have questions, please put them in the comments. I'm going to get to as many of those as I can throughout the hour here. We do have about 20 minutes left to go over the second half of this, too, with capo, which we absolutely will. So put those questions in the comments. I'm going to get to as many of them as I can. And also, too, if you're enjoying these lessons, if you're enjoying all of the cool fisherman gear that I use in these lessons, be sure to click the link in the video description below. I talk about the RS Spectrum DI, all that good stuff. You want to find out more information about the Fisherman acoustic pickups that I use, the RS Spectrum DI, the Loud Box acoustic amp series. You can go ahead and check that out there. And the AFX pedal series, which are very, very cool too. So check it out there. Okay, so that's what's happening in the chorus. Now, the last half of the chorus sounds like this, that iconic walk down. Okay, so it sounds like this. Now, do I think that the guitar is doing that on the recording? Maybe. I almost think the bass is doing that and the piano, right? But that's such an iconic part of the song, we got to include it on guitar. It's just too cool. So what we're going to do here is we're going to play the A chord, but before we play the full chord, we're going to play the root first, that open A string. And we're going to give a good down up there. So just like that, not too bad. Okay, so that's the first part of that walk down, A. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to move that first finger across the second fret of the D string, G string, and B string. That's going to be how we grip our A chord. And we're going to get our third finger, we're going to reach over to the G sharp on the fourth fret of the E string. We're going to do the same strumming pattern, root, down, up. Don't feel like you need to play the full chord, even if you get that part of it, that E note and that A note and that open A string, totally cool too. So in context, see what I mean? Still sounds great. Again, a bit of a switch, but worth it. Worth that effort, okay? From there, we're gonna keep our first finger where it is, all right? We're gonna place our thumb on the second fret of that E string. Now, we don't have to squeeze it really hard. We're playing that F sharp there. Don't feel like you need to squeeze the life out of the neck of the guitar. Please don't do that. You're just gonna hurt yourself. Don't do that. Lightly, just press it. You don't need a lot of pressure. You don't need to squeeze it hard, okay? Just a little bit. And that will get you to where you need to be, okay? So, just bring that thumb over, light pressure. Once it sounds nice and clear and there's no fret buzz, like this you don't want. See how I just changed the pressure ever so slightly and we have a nice clear note? That's what we want. That's what I want you to do, okay? So, same thing, F sharp, and then up, downstroke. Up, downstroke, upstroke on the chord. There we go. Okay, so from the top, from that A chord. Okay. From there, lift the thumb out of the way, open E string. This is now an A over E. And then play the A chord. Okay? So here we go. And then to our D chord. And then back to our figure, the D sus2, D, D sus2, D. Okay? Nice and slowly here. Let's go through that walk down. Here we go. Again. And last time slower, and then we'll build up the speed. And here it is, fast. Again. Now, let's go ahead and do this. Verse, chorus, and then we're going to grab that capo and play a capoed version of this for the rest of the lesson. So here we go. Verse and chorus with the outro chorus-y part, okay? And this is the tune. This repeats and all that good stuff. So it's these 4 parts. So from the top of the verse. And I'm going to play it a little slower. Here comes the chorus. Let that ring. And you put the low right on me. Let's do that walk down again. So there it is there. That's the entire tune. That's the entire tune. Such a great song. Such a great song. So that's what's happening there if we choose to play it like they did without the capo, okay? So, remember I said at the top, if you have one, grab it. So I'm going to grab mine here. We're going to place it on the 2nd fret, okay? So here's the thing here. We are still playing it in the same key. We're just playing it with different chords. So since I am capoed on the 2nd fret, we still want to maintain being in the key of A. I'm going to be playing all of these chords. The A chord is now a G chord. That C sharp minor over G sharp is now a B minor over F sharp. And the D chord is now a C. Pretty cool stuff, right? So that's what's happening there. Now, the intro, we can keep the same, okay? That. But this time, we want to end on the G chord. Now, what we do here, for that intro, after we play it, remember how we went to an A and then an A sus4? What we're going to do here, so now that we're capoed at the 2nd fret, that A chord is now a G chord. We're going to play a G and G sus4. So that'll sound like this. Really cool way to play it. So we're going to play the G chord in this fashion here. My 3rd finger, again, this is not how they did it. This is not how the band did it. I want to give you options. If someone else is playing it in standard tune or standard tune guitar without a capo, I want to give you another option. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret in accordance to the capo of that E string. We're going to grab our pinky finger here, okay, 3rd fret, the E string. So just like that, a very, very, very open sounding version of this G chord, right? It's great. What we're going to do now to play that G sus4, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to place my 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B string in accordance to the capo, and my 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. Isn't that neat to play it like that? So that's what's happening there. And I'll show you in context with the intro. Okay, so there's that option there. Now, we're going to do here is the progression. Now in the verse, it's a little different. So we're going to have a G chord to a B minor over F sharp, okay? So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna play that B minor chord, but we're gonna move that finger up to the F sharp in accordance to the capo. But we all know, in actuality, this is a C sharp minor over G sharp. Okay? We're gonna strum it in the same way. That D chord now turns into a C chord. So first finger on the first fret in accordance to the capo, that B string, second finger, second fret of the D string, third finger reaches to the third fret of the A string. And we're going to play the bottom 5 strings, don't include the low E. Okay? So in context, this is the verse. That G and G sus 4. All right, so let's go ahead and do this a couple times here with that verse. A little slower here. That's what's happening there. So now when we go to the chorus is going to sound like this. So, what chords are we playing? Okay, that A chord turned into a G chord. Now, I'll leave it up to you which version of G you want to play. If you like this one with the open B string, if you like the 4-fingered version of it, or if you like the open one that we were doing during the verse, which is cool. I'm going to leave that up to you. Really doesn't matter which one you do. They all sound great. If I was playing this, me personally, I'd probably grab the 4-fingered grip G chord because that's the one I like the best. So that's probably what I would do. Now, the next chord after this, we're going to play a D chord. However, if we want to include an F sharp in the bass, that's going to sound very cool. Okay? So you can place your thumb over that second fret of the E string, just like that. And again, remember, we've got that C chord there, all right? So, let's go ahead and do this. Just that first part of the chorus. See how I did all the different versions of G? See how they all sound good? So I will leave that up to you. From there, the and put the love right on me, right? What we're going to do there, that now becomes a C sus2 and a C. So guess what? Get your C chord in position, a C sus2. All you're going to do, C chord, ready to go, right? Lift the second finger up. Hammer it down. Now we're back to that C chord. Let the C chord ring. Okay, so that sounds like this. Here we go. Here it comes. Really cool way to play it. All right, and here it is. I'll just do a little bit of it to speed. It's good stuff. So that's how you can play that part, again, with the capo on the 2nd fret. This is not how the band did it, but wanted to give you an option. So that's what's happening there. Now we have our walk down, and that walk down is going to look and sound like this. I'm going to do that again. And one more time. The descending bass line again. Listen. So good. So good. So we're going to do here, we're going to start at a G chord. Again, whichever version you like. Striking the G note in the bass by itself, down, up on the chord. I like to grab the F sharp with my thumb. Could you do your first finger? You could. I'll leave that up to you too. Okay. I like to use my 2nd finger. So, same thing. Root, down, up. F sharp, down, up. Let's do the first 2 G. Now from here, open E string, and then play that little bitty G chord there with the G string, B string, and high E string. If you want to include the D string in there too, you could. So that sounds like this. Okay. Let's do that again. From the G chord, here we go. Again. Now from here, we're going to play a G over D. Strike the open D string, and then play the bottom 4 strings. So here it is, the whole thing put together. Just like that. Let's do that again. And now to speed. Again. And then you're going to go to a C to that C sus2. And that's it. Okay? Just like that. Now, from that walk down at the end of the chorus, here we go. Again. Now let's do it one more time. Now let's do it from the very top. Verse, chorus, and that end of the chorus, okay? Again, the riff that we did at the very top of the intro is going to work in this position too, all right? So here we go, from the top, the verse. Chorus, here we go. And you put flow right on me. Let's do the walk down again. So fun. Let's do one more time. And that's the tune. Really, really, really fun song. So I encourage you guys, try it both ways and see which way works for you. Again, the way that we did in the first half of the lesson with the open chords is how it was played live, how it was recorded. So, but anytime I can give you guys options on how to play stuff, I really like to do that. Again, these lessons are so much fun, and I want to say, I say it a lot, but I think it is worth repeating. Thank you all so much for being so kind to one another in the comments. Again, this is a really, I want this to be a learning environment here that is positive, where we are uplifting one another. So thank you all so much for being so cool to each other. These lessons would not be if it wasn't for all of you tuning in. So I really want to say thank you to all of you just for being really cool and really nice. I see it and I appreciate it. So thank you all for that. It's great. It's great. And again, this is a live Q&A. We have a few more minutes before we're going to end the lesson today. So please, if you guys have questions in the comments, would absolutely love to answer as many of those as I can. Even if you had them in the comment section earlier, put them in again so I don't have to scroll, and be happy to answer. Also, too, I've got a new EP out called The Voices. It's on Bandcamp, everywhere you stream your music, all that good stuff. I'm making a really fun announcement this Monday. Got something cool that has been on my list to do forever, and a lot of you have been asking, so I finally got around to doing it. So on Monday, look out for a really fun little announcement. It'll be cool. And those of you in Nashville, I will be playing in Nashville, and also going to be doing a show in Alabama the week of June 19th. So be sure to visit my website, angelapetrillimusic.com, for tour dates and all of that good stuff. Going to be fun playing some shows out there. Going to be playing the new tunes from the EP and some originals from my buddy Matt LeMayo, who's going to be joining me on this little mini tour. So it's going to be a ton of fun. So if you're in that neck of the woods, please come and see us. We'd love to meet you, and we'd love to see you at a show. So be sure to hang out if you're in that part of the country. All right, so let's see here. Very difficult to get the harmonies down on this, but I joined late, didn't see the open tunings. Don't worry, Vincent. Go ahead and watch this again. This can be live, or this will be on YouTube. Go and watch the open version and see, how those notes really come together. It is, again, a great song and a really good one to have in your back pocket. It's a fun one. It's a fun one, indeed. Thank you guys. Glad everyone's loving the EP. I'm glad. It was a labor of love for sure. So yeah, if you'd like to check it out, what I will do is this. I'm going to type in the link here so you guys have it. All right. So http, there we go. /. So there it is. And you can listen to it there. You can stream it there. Let me do that again with the correct bit.ly/app Bandcamp. There we go. That's the right one. So you can check it out there. We are so proud of it. We're really proud of that record. Also too, we I did a little interview with a magazine called Guitar Player Magazine. So be sure to check out the July 2023 issue. I'm in there, and it's such an honor to be included in that magazine. It's really great. But again, want to know how everybody's doing on these songs? Please be sure to keep me posted on how all of this is going for you guys. I like to know. And again, thank you to my friends at Fishman for helping me do these lessons week after week. You want to check out all the cool stuff, all the cool Fishman gear that I use in these lessons, including the R Spectrum DI and the really cool AFX pedals that came out during NAMM. You can check out the link down below in the video description. As always, thank you, Dean. I appreciate it. You beat me to the punch. If you're enjoying these lessons, subscribe to the channel. It helps the cause. Click that like button. Share them with a friend. It helps. As always, wishing you so much success in your musical journey. It's good stuff. I think music makes the world a better place, so keep playing music, everybody. Again, thank you all so much. Hope to see you in Nashville. Hope you pick up this month's issue of Guitar Player magazine and go ahead and pick up a copy of The Voices. All right. So thank you everybody so much, and I will see you guys next time.